Hello everybody, it's that time of the month again. Let's see, where did I put my scissors? Right here. This is of course the next issue of Combat Patrol. You guys seem to quite like these videos, so who am I to deny you of them? I quite like making them. They're nice and laid back, which is something I'm really appreciating. Though I did film up a video yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple days ago, that I think you guys maybe you'll like, I don't know. I'm gonna edit it after I upload this video. But where was I? Yeah, I'm gonna really try and get a lot of videos out in the next month. I want to get, at least 15 videos out, maybe at the least, so to say. Here we go. Let me see if I can get a good. Let me take this out first. Take out my sensitive information. And then I'm gonna that. Something else in there. What was that? Oh, I hope I didn't break that. Alright. Oh, this is one of the special gifts. This will go in my mug collection. Combat Patrol. I'm pretty sure this changes when you heat it up or something. It's a nice design. It's the 10th edition starter set boxes with Combat Patrol on either side. And it's a decent size. A little dusty though. Microwave safe, dishwasher safe, good to know. A little on the small side for me. I tend to like bigger mugs, but I don't really mind. Okay, so let's go through here. So this month is going to be a lot of Eldar stuff. But first we have the last, I don't know how to call it, the last editions of Space Marines and Tyranids. Certainly going to be good to move away from them. Not because I don't like them, but because I want variety. Sorry about this. I try not to talk when I'm doing this because it's so crinkly. Okay. So, here we have Parasite of Mortrex. That's a good little character. I wish all this stuff came in these little bags. But yeah, it's a cool miniature. I remember when he came out, it's very cool to see him get remade. Let's look through here. So, how to build Parasite of Mortrex. Standard assembly stuff. I don't think he's too tough. Ooh, there's some good artwork of Big E himself. It's talking about the Great Crusade, which is of course very important. Sorry, I'm just setting something up on my phone to go while I do this. Let me take my earbuds out. I didn't realize there's a lot of them in. So yeah, Great Crusade, 10,000 years ago, Big E, and he wanted to unify all of humanity, and we all saw how that went. Looks like this is where they're giving you some fluff on. Yeah, you can see here it's talking about pretty much the downfall of the Imperium, or from the Empire to the Imperium. And then you've got talking about the what's it called? Parasite of Mortrex. And then you've got more stuff on the Silver Templars here. Very cool looking chapter. Parasite of Mortrex. Ultimate Founding. Talking about the Primaris Marines. Let's see, I have a fancy D4 here. Let's roll it, and we'll just re-roll if we get a 4. Okay, we got a 1. Parasite moves like a shadow, swooping silently upon enemy forces, only to disappear in a spray of gore. Seems pretty fitting. Okay, this is what I was really interested in. So this is the first auxiliary unit, as I've called them. Okay, so this is what I expected it to be. Basically, you get to remove a unit and sub in one of these. So for the Tyranid, it's the Parasite. For the Space Marines, it's the Chaplain on bike. But yeah, I mean, so this is different than its normal data sheet, obviously, because it's not going to have you spawning Ripper Swarms, but you swap out your Barb Gaunts for this guy, which I think is a totally valid swap out. The Barb Ovipositor will be useful for taking out something like a Terminator or something like that. But yeah, I do like this. Here, it talks more about the strengths and weaknesses of the character, or the unit, rather. But yeah, it talks about how fast it is, which it is very fast. Its battle shock ability, which is, you know, whatever. And then lack of durability is its main flaw. Yep. Move my mug out of the way. And then you've got, sorry, excuse me. So this is where they teach you about battle shock, which I think is a good thing. And then they have you talking about ears. I really do quite like these flat terrain things, even though for my crusade I'm working on, I am going to make a bunch of terrain this weekend. Standard Tyranid stuff. Talking about Space Marines fighting parasites and winged primes and whatever. And then they have a little ad for the rest of the Tyranids there. Let's roll. 1 and 2 will be Space Marines, 3 and 4 will be Tyranid. Okay, we got a 2, so it's Space Marine victory. Tyranid resistance crumbles before a concerted attack from the Space Marines. If there is to be any hope of a final victory, the Space Marines must capitalize on their advantage and continue to press their attack deep into Tyranid territory. The road has been long and battle's tough, but the end is now in sight. That just kind of shows you what's coming up next. I'm quite excited for this. Because I like the Eldar, and I'm trying to get my army of them finished. There was a store that was closing nearby me, so I ended up grabbing this guy for like 20% off, which was real nice. So next up, we do have another favorite model of mine. This is a model I already own, but it's such a cool model, I wouldn't mind trying to paint it again as a more skilled painter. Let me shut up while I cut this. Yep, here's the Chaplain on bike. Absolutely phenomenal model. Probably one of the best Space Marine models ever. And if anyone disagrees with me, you're wrong. You know, full stop, you're wrong. Sorry, I thought one of my dogs was making some noise. They might have been. I'm dog sitting another person's dog alongside, of course, my own dog. So they might bark, but hopefully not. Standard instruction stuff. It's a bit of a beefy model, which I do like. Telling you how to paint and all this stuff because he's such a cool model. Screamer Pink is just a fantastic one. Alright, let's go. We got a 2. So, Chaplain knows many ancient battle songs and litanies with which to inspire his allies. Seems pretty good for a Chaplain to have. And there you have your Chaplain all painted up, looking quite snazzy and black. So let's see. What do we swap out in the Space Marines? So, oh my god, that's so free, in my opinion. You get rid of your Librarian for this guy. The Librarian likely isn't going to join anyone already. Let me see. He's just, each time his model unit is selected, selects one enemy unit within 12. And then you get your devastating wounds, which is not too bad because you have your twin bolt rifle, so you have a solid shot at a devastating wound every turn. And I would take this guy just because he's going to be a little bit more competent on his own than the Librarian. Very cool. Sorry, I had to fix a helicopter I'm working on for my orcs, so that's why that's there. It's teaching you how to do twin linked. I think that's a great thing to do with these auxiliary units, is to teach you more about special rules. Whoops, just dropped my dice. Okay. Tyranid's turn. Yep, standard again. Same dealio. Okay, Space Marines win again. With the fury of battle over, the boisterous war litanies of the Space Marines are replaced with solemn prayers of thanks to the glorious dead. While many have fallen on this day, their memories will be immortalized in the records of the chapter, serving as an example for generations of warriors to come. And then here's the same thing, but for the Space Marines. Alrighty, we're on to the next faction, Eldar, which I'm quite excited for. God, I really gotta... Sorry, my God, my hobby space is a bit of a mess right now. Sorry, hold on. Right there, that's it. Put him over there. Who's next? That was 20, right? So we're looking for you. Here we go. Can you go lay down, Lucy? Sorry, this dog's just a little puppety. It'll be fine. Go lay down. or jump down if you want. Here we go. So, issue 21. Give this a rip. That's why they've come apart quite so cleanly. Alrighty, Eldar time. I've had enough of bugs and space marines. So it does look like the stuff that's normally multi-part, if you will, even though this guy's monopose, will come in these bags, which I do quite like. I never like these though. Just include a regular base. They did this with Captain Cento, so I'm going to paint up for a video. Don't do that. It's dumb. Okay, so how to summon your farseer and then how to paint him up. Pretty standard. They're giving you the same hand kind of dealio, which will look quite nice. Talking about how the Eldar are very few in numbers these days. Which they are, of course. Talking about their super advanced technology and their paths of war right here. And then they're also talking about the Immaterium, because the next faction that you'll be collecting alongside Eldari will be Chaos Space Marines. Talking about Mind War. Bit of a short story about an Autarch, or a Farseer rather. 2. So this Farseer is exceptionally brave and no place is too dangerous for them to venture into. Sounds very fitting. Here's your data sheet. Yeah, it's just the standard Farseer for... what's the word I'm looking for? Combat Patrol. He has his Fortune ability, which is quite nice. They get to basically make your unit more tough, which is useful for Eldar. And he can be attached to the... so you're basically having him fight up against spawning termagants, which is quite cool in my opinion. And then, yeah, let's do it. Same dealio as before. 1, that's the Eldari. Eldar. As the chittering cacophony of innumerable swarming tyranids builds across the battlefield, the Farseer takes a final look at the land and slips away. With the vital information they now hold, the Eldari forces are one step closer to victory over the Tyranid menace, and their craft world is safe for now. Very Iandan. Oh, look at this. This is, oh, what was that box called? Damn. I got this box. I was in Brazil at the time, and I ordered it on release day. It was a good box, in my opinion. You know, real cool stuff. I haven't built my Shroud Runners yet. I'm a true Warhammer fan at heart. So, you can see here, this is going to be the last one for the day. You're going to get a couple new paints, and then this will be next edition. We're going to be getting some Defenders. That'll be my second unit of them, which I don't mind. I'll probably build it as Storm Defenders. Oh, come on. Hold on. I got to let my dog out. Alright, and finally we have Combat Patrol 22. Interesting. These paints are coming in these bags as well. I guess that might have just been a first few issues thing where they hadn't gotten those done, but I'm glad to see that. It makes things much tidier. Oh, let me cut this open. More plastic. Of course, I love plastic. Who doesn't? No, this is just 2 paints. We've got Averland Sunset and Catachan Flesh. I've used Averland Sunset. It's a very dark yellow, very thick. It covers pretty well for a yellow. It'll do you fine, though. It's not my favorite. Haven't used Catachan Flesh, but it looks like a sort of warm, darker skin tone, you know, African-American, if you will. Useful, though, for basing skin tones, as you generally want to start from a sort of brownish color if you're doing any skin tone, really. But also useful for things like soft leather, you know? Good paints. Here, they have you painting in the belts. Excuse me, I had a frog stuck in my throat. Yeah, I mean, it's I do like these things. They're not telling you to do anything too insane, which is just great, in my opinion. There's your Combat Patrol there. So this is going to be a much shorter one than I think like the Space Marines or the Tyranids are going to be, because these guys don't have that many units. We've got the Eldar, we know we're getting them, they're going to come together, and they're going to come together. So it's going to be, well, no, I guess not really. Maybe, I don't know. Regardless, I suppose. Right, because these guys will come, wait, hold on, let me think about this real quick. We got the Eldar, we're getting these guys next month, but there's two extra additions in that. Are we also going to get these guys, or are we going to get the Wraith Lord? Yeah, I think we'll actually finish these guys in 3 months, which is about average, I suppose. And then you also have a little bit of talk about your Wraith constructs and your vehicles, of course, very important for your Eldar. Here you have your different craft worlds. These guys all look really snazzy. Eldar are really fun to paint. Out of these four, Aeldari's my favorite. And I never noticed this. So my dogs are barking outside. I don't know what's got them in such a tizzy today. Aeldari's my favorite. I never noticed. Aeldari is effectively just an inverse of Iyanden, which is my second favorite. All very cool, though. I really like Eldar. They're cool. I have quite a lot of Eldar that need painting. Huh. Looks like they're having you do your Wraith Lord first, which makes me think we're probably going to get him before we get the jet bikes. Where did I put my dice? Whatever. Because guess what? I have a second dice. For our Farseer, 1. Storm of Blades. Farseer was an artisan who embarked on the path of the seer after their craft was attacked by chaos forces. Very fitting. Oh, here we have some war zones. You've got Bastior, which is where the 4th Tyranic War was, the Pariah Nexus, Nockmund, and the Kalnath Expanse. That's where I'm doing a Nockmund Gauntlet Crusade. If you guys want to hear about that as it goes on, make sure to let me know, and I'll give you guys like sort of general war updates. All right, for our Wraith Lord, we got a 3, which will be the Howl of Anguish. This Wraith Lord consists of a former warrior who served as a Howling Banshee aspect warrior. Very cool. Huh. Wait, hold on, this is interesting. This is the old resin Spirit Seer, not the modern plastic one. That's cool. I always like seeing older models pop up in dioramas like this. Oh, here's some great classic artwork of like the Imperial Palace, where you've got a couple of custodies, if you will, that look a little different than we'd recognize them today. And then here they're giving you some info on things, contrast versus classic, your battlefields, your combat patrol missions. Is this just going to have all the combat patrol rules? Yeah. Or at least, no, it's just going to have flat. Whoops. Use this table to record which combat patrols have fought in this mission. Use the key below to identify the factions. Place a tick in the box. Combat patrols with collection, you turn this mission to see how each of them fare against each other. That's pretty cool, right? Because you have your attackers for everyone, pretty much, right? And then you can kind of have a matchup going. Very cool, though. So, I mean, actually, look, it's in order, right? Because we got Space Marines, Tyranids, Eldar Chaos, then Orcs, Votan. Wait. Genestealer, Colts, Imperial Guard, and then World Leaders will be last. Good to know. And then Combat Patrol's just the beginning. It's interesting they don't tell you what's coming in 25 and 26. I might look that up, might put it in the video. Maybe I'll keep it a surprise. I kind of already read through all the releases for the first, like, 50 releases here. I really like that artwork there. You see that tactical marine or assault marine fighting some Eldar. And that's great artwork. Eldar are just so cool. If you don't like Eldar, try again. And with that, we've covered everything. Pretty solid release. Just 3 characters. Pretty decent characters. The Farseer, of course, is pretty small because he's an Eldar, but get your big bike, your flying guy. Very cool. What can I say? I like it. Can't wait to get my Guardian Defenders, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.